Get ready. It's 2023 and we're set to have another great year for new additions to parks all around the globe. In today's video, we're turning to Hersheypark to document what you should expect from their almost new coaster, Wildcats Revenge. For those that have visited the park in recent years, you probably noticed something peculiar about their attraction roster. The park has been previously operating with 3 wooden coasters, including the now defunct Wildcat. Hersheypark, along with other enthusiasts, realised that there was definitely an oversaturation when it comes to wooden coasters. This is where Rocky Mountain Construction comes in and does what they do best. Wildcat is undergoing a hybrid reconstruction, combining wood with steel to give this park and coaster a new facelift. But before we jump into the details though, we want to take the time to remind you to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. With that out of the way, let's look at Wildcats Revenge. Get ready. What is Wildcats Revenge? For those not in the know, Wildcat as a concept has existed in Hersheypark history since 1923. The original Wildcat operated as the Joyride when it first opened, before receiving their name change shortly after. This ride operated up until 1945 when a decision was made to tear down the coaster. Following World War II, the ride had fallen into disrepair and it wasn't worth the investment in rebuilding it. A new coaster would be constructed as a replacement the following year. This would become Comet, a ride which you can still experience today. In 1996, Hersheypark revitalised the Wildcat name, opening a brand new GCI wooden coaster adorning the slogan, "The Cat is Back." Wildcat was received positively in its early years, frequently being listed in the Golden Ticket Awards Top 50 Wooden Coaster list. In more recent times though, the ride began to show its age and was notoriously rough. Many lamented the fact that Hersheypark had a noticeable gap in their lineup, with no offerings from Rocky Mountain Construction, or RMC as they're commonly referred to. Wildcat closed permanently in July of 2022, and many prayers were answered in the following November when Hersheypark announced that RMC would be converting the ride into a steel hybrid coaster called Wildcats Revenge. RMC are known for taking the foundations of old wooden coasters and converting them into adrenaline machines. Using the flexibility of steel tracks in combination with a base of structured wood, hybrid coasters offer a very unique ride experience you don't get on a traditional wooden coaster. Some of the features we can expect from Wildcats Revenge include 4 inversions, including what is said to be the world's largest underflip, where you rise upwards and flip into an inversion before going down a banked drop. There's also a 0G stall, leaving guests hanging upside down as they speed along the track for a moment before twisting back out. There's also a further 2 0G rolls that actually pass over each other, which looks really cool. The first drop will take riders down an 82-degree angle, so not quite vertical but still pretty steep, and this will be from a top height of 140 feet or 43 meters. This brings riders up to the ride's top speed of 62 miles per hour or 100 kilometers an hour. There's also a big camelback hill following the first inversion, which is definitely going to provide the ride's biggest airtime moment. There are other features you'd expect from an RMC Hybrid 2, like snappy transitions, overextended banking, and some small bunny hills. While RMCs are often known for their egregious use of airtime moments, Wildcats Revenge looks like it may be a bit more tame. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing either, it's probably just a bit more well-rounded, showcasing many of the interesting and unique capabilities RMC have with their roller coaster design. There is obviously emphasis placed on the inversions over traditional airtime moments, but there is still enough here to scratch that itch. The coaster is also going to have 3 trains at its disposal, as well as a separate unload section before the dispatch station. This will hopefully ease some of the operations. However, considering Wildcats Revenge is planned to be open for all 4 seasons of the year, it's unclear whether or not this will actually be running 3 trains at all times. Regardless, this looks like a crowd pleaser and a very welcome addition to Hersheypark. When will Wildcats Revenge open? Typically, Hersheypark's newest attractions will often open towards the end of May of their first season. We've seen this before with the likes of Skyrush opening on May 26, 2012, Laugh Track opening May 23, 2015, and Fahrenheit opening to the public on May 24th in 2008. You get the idea. Of course, Candemonium, being the most recent new coaster, is a bit of an outlier considering it opened in 2020. This saw the opening date most likely pushed back to July 3rd, although this specifically stemmed from some delays in April following the surge of COVID-19 based lockdowns and restrictions. The park itself actually delayed their opening into the summer on account of this also. However, even the re-theme of Jolly Rancher Remix would open on May 28th last year, so it's pretty clear that Hersheypark likes to plan when they're opening their new attractions. With that said, based on Hersheypark's usual pattern, we could be expecting to see Wildcats Revenge officially open hopefully around the Memorial Day weekend. If previous patterns are anything to go by, setting your sights on the last weekend of May is probably a decent possibility. You may want to hold off on your next trip until later though, as some of the construction still seems to be a little bit underdeveloped. There's still some track and supports to be built at this moment in time, so we will have to see how this pans out in the coming weeks. Some have speculated that a more realistic timeline of somewhere around the 4th of July is more plausible. Needless to say, we're hopefully going to get a more confirmed date from Hersheypark very soon. And if it's anything like our usual look, they'll probably announce it the day after this video goes up, so keep an eye out for any official announcements. Will Wildcats Revenge live up to the hype? Wildcats Revenge is most likely going to be a mid-tier coaster when compared to other RMC hybrids out there. With the likes of Steel Vengeance and Iron Gwazi in the same country, it might be hard to compete. Whether it lives up to the hype really depends on how you want to view this coaster and what your expectations are. As it currently stands, it seems like most people aren't expecting a global top 10 coaster from this ride, which, as we've seen from the stats, is probably a wise choice. Thankfully, this means that a lot of the anticipation is expecting a great ride for Hersheypark, but not necessarily a world-class one. What we can really appreciate from this ride though is Hersheypark's ability and willingness to see their pain points and give the crowd what they want. An RMC is exactly what was needed for this park, and it really adds to the overall diversity of their stacked lineup. Whether it will be the best ride at the park once it opens remains to be seen, and will definitely depend on your personal preference. This doesn't change the fact that Wildcats Revenge has all the hallmarks of a great ride from RMC, as well as an exciting must-ride for every trip to Hersheypark. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out our deep dive look into Big Bear Mountain, opening soon in Dollywood. A link will be on screen now. But before you check that video out, leave a comment down below and let us know if you are excited to finally ride an RMC at Hersheypark. Now you're ready.